We have a question from Hemant now. He says that he bought a flat for 77 lakh rupees. Now he wants to pay 30.5 lakh rupees in cash and the remaining by loan. He wants to know which bank should he go for. All these days he thought that banks would reduce interest rates. Should he wait or should he go for it? His salary is 45,000 rupees per month and his brother is earning half of that. It will be a joint loan account.
Absolutely. I think, you're in a very sweet spot, so to say. So go ahead and do it, because in some sense, real estate market is in a kind of a freeze. Freeze because a lot of deals are not happening. There's not so much of activity that we are seeing. Suddenly, the cash is out of the system. And because cash is out of the system, suddenly the property prices seem to have technically corrected. Whether they have actually corrected or not, that we will only know when deals start happening in a particular locality. But we don't really see a lot of that happening. So my sense is, if you have to buy a property, just go ahead. It might be the best time to negotiate a good price, so on and so forth. So even if you have to get a loan on it, naturally you will save money in terms of interest, because your overall property cost itself might be, at least I'm thinking, 5 or 10% lower than the market rate. And if somebody does want to sell their property, then you are in for a great bargain. So I don't think there is any reason why you should be waiting. The question of joint loan account and applying together and all of that, I would suggest, is a matter of the bank's discretion or the financier's discretion. So go ahead and start the process. Banks will give you a sanction letter even if you have not identified the property, because in that sense, what happens is you know how much money is available via that sanction letter. So you have already, in your case, said that you want a 77 lakh property and that you're going to pay about approximately 30 lakhs out of that for yourself. So whether you're getting a 47 lakh loan or a 45 lakh loan or a 40 lakh loan or even a 75 lakh loan, depending on your joint income put together, which you say is 45,000, but why not apply for it right away and try for it?
Right. There's this other thing that he says. He says all these days he thought banks would reduce interest rates. Right. Should he wait? Should he go for it? And this is something that a lot of viewers have been asking us over the past few days. Obviously they are wary of getting stuck at a particular rate when rates are actually looking like they're going to go down and keep going down for some time now. What would you recommend to a person at this point in time, if you have just taken a home loan or if you're planning to take a home loan? How can you ensure that you are on the right side of the interest rates when they actually start going down?
So, see, what is happening is most of the loans today are all directly connected with the MCLR system. So, which means whichever bank you go and take your loan with, automatically you're going to be in the MCLR system, and as soon as the interest rate is deducted there, automatically the benefit will be transformed to you.
But is that really what is happening? Because MCLR, from what we understand, is either reset on a 3-month, on a quarterly
Correct.
basis,
Absolutely.
or on an annual basis.
Correct.
In annual basis, in the case of some banks, which means that if I take a home loan today and say interest rates go off by another say 10 or 0.10 or 0.25% over the next few months, I'll have to wait for 1 year for it to actually get reset?
No, so generally speaking, that's not very competitive. So there would be very few who would even do that. But most banks would do it on a monthly basis or a quarterly. Quarterly sounds like most likelihood in terms of a scenario, because MCLR itself is a formula which the banks are finding it a little difficult to sort of manage and give you the benefit of those rates. But those rates have to come down to you. And like we've always said, you need to be a little aware about what's happening on your loan. Once you take a loan, A, you're not married to it, and B, you have to monitor it in terms of the interest rate that you're paying. So whenever you take a loan, whether you've already taken a loan, just watch your rate. And as soon as the interest rate for MCLR goes down, and by the way, this is public information. So this is already published on the website of the bank that you're working with. And you have a sanction letter in your hand which says that your loan is going to be at 1% lesser than MCLR or 2% lesser than MCLR, or, in some sort of a formula or a linkage with MCLR. So it should not be so difficult to exactly, monitor and figure out how your loan is going on. So you should do it. If the bank hasn't done that, you can always call up the bank, call up your relationship manager and ask them to make an adjustment. And if it just doesn't happen or things don't work out, you always have the right to move your loan to another place. Typically, you need to hang around for 6 months when you take a home loan with a particular lender. And once your 6 months are over, then you're free to move your loan to another lender. You can refinance your loan.
Also, a lot of people, even now, are still stuck with home loans that were given on base rates.
Correct.
They've not really made the switch to MCLR.
That's right.
What can they do?
So they've got 2-3 options. Either they refinance the loan and go to another bank and get into the new system, or they can remain in the same bank, and those banks or those institutions will ordinarily charge them a certain fee. And the fee is not very high, but that also depends because it's a small percentage. But that percentage multiplied by your outstanding principal could become big or small depending on how much is your outstanding principal. So typically they would charge you a 0.25% to 0.5%, and in some cases a little more than 0.5% as well. So now all these things are possible. So first, it's always nice to try with the lender that you are with, so that what happens is there's continuity of relationship, then there is lesser paperwork and lesser hassle for you. But if that's not going to work, then you rather shift to another bank and then get into an MCLR system with a new bank if you're stuck on the base rate system. See, even the base rates are not stuck in totality in that sense. So even in the base rate, there is a formula. So now that we have gone to the MCLR does not mean that the base rate system has been scrapped. The base rates are still there and they are still published. It's just a different calculation mechanism. So if you're on the base rate loan, and then if there is a formula on the base rate, just check whether your bank is giving you the benefit of the base rate minus or plus whatever is your home loan rate.
Right, and you do need to also remember that it's the banks that have MCLR pricing for home loans or base rate pricing. If you are with an HFC, that's a home finance company, in that case then you are on an RPLR system, which is completely different. So you need to have that, you need to get that distinction.
Correct.
Keep that in mind when you actually go on for this. But net, what you do need to remember, like Karthik rightly put it, you're not married to that home loan. You have to manage that home loan and ensure you get the best deal of it.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.